Welcome everybody. I'm so happy that you're here. I'm assuming that everyone took the first session. And so what this is a live, kind of like a recap, and we can talk about the first session. So if you guys could raise your hands just so that I could see that, Suzanne, she told me that she could hear me. So that's wonderful, but it would be great if I could see a couple other people say that, oh, yay, okay, Beverly. All right, great. So what this really is basically is a recap of the first session. So after this, all right, you have to take it because we're not going to go in complete detail, all right? And I would love to unmute anybody that wants unmuting so that we can have, conversation. Now, all right, so we're going to get started. I'm going to start from the beginning, and you're going to see basically the same slides that you saw in the course on session 1. I've taken some of them out because they just weren't necessary for a review. Now, everybody on this call may not be, everybody that takes my class is not necessarily, in a position where it's just horrible. Like I have a very, very organized friend that took my class because she wanted to be more organized. So I'm not like judging, because in her world, her few things she has in her basement and the mess she always has in her trunk, to her, that's devastating. Okay, that's your business. To me, that isn't quite, devastating. No. Now, the thing that I want to talk about really quick is that we know that only an alcoholic can help another alcoholic. And that's why this is so effective, because you know how it is to be told by somebody, oh, just do it, just do it. And, you look at them and you want to smack them upside the head because you don't know how to just do it. You can't just do it. That's like saying somebody that is struggling so hard with weight, to just tell them, well, just do it. Just because I have no problem with with weight doesn't mean that I have the understanding to help them through this kind of thing. I really do believe that you have to have experienced this to be able to help someone like it. If one of my girlfriends came over and said, Kathy, just do the dishes, I would just want to smack them. But like if somebody that was just like me said, just do the dishes before bed, it's such a different thing. It's taken in a different light. So we're just going to pass on here, and I'm going to talk about the books that I know we've all read. And I don't know if I mentioned this in the course, but there's actually one book that goes so far as to tell people to count how many steps it takes to get from certain places, because that will save you time. They're not talking to people like us. They're not talking to people like us at all. We're the kind of people that we just want to get it done so we can go out and play. If it takes a little longer, who cares, as long as it gets done. Steps, are you kidding me? That would put me to bed with a pint of Haagen-Dazs and a spoon. There's so many organizational books on the market by organized people, is because they have their shit together. Pardon my language. By now you know me. And they're the only ones that can actually get it off the ground. So there's that. If it turns out that you want me to move on, if you have a question about what we're saying, if you're saying, Kathy, we already went through this, I want to hear about something else, then just raise your hand so that I could address it, okay? All right, what I'm doing is I'm reviewing the course that you took. And then you will have the opportunity to stop me and ask me. So we're going to talk about the expert theory now, all right? The expert theory, which is that an expert can't teach something to the novice. They're so, good at that thing that by the time they begin to teach it to us, we look at them like a deer in headlights, like, what did you say? Huh? And that's like true across the board, not just in our position. It's also true, like if somebody just sets up a very sophisticated phone system in a company, that person that set it up cannot be the person that teaches everyone how to use it. And that's just the way it is, because they know it too well. So that's why it's been very difficult to learn from people who know what to do, know how to organize. They don't understand that we see the big picture. They don't understand that we need to have things broken down. If you're starting at A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and going all the way to Z, they start somewhere around, like H. And we're like, wait, what happened to A to H? You left some stuff out. So that's what the expert theory is, okay? Now, how did I get help? I got help because I admitted that I had a problem, and then I found out that I wasn't alone. I used to teach a women's Bible fellowship, and during this Bible fellowship time, I said, listen, I'm a mess at home. And before you know it, a lot of other people were raising their hands and saying they were too. And someone there taught something from a book called Sidetracked Home Executives. And back then, this was 20 some odd years ago, I was pregnant with my 4th child. He's now 23 years old. And back then, the course was made for stay-at-home moms. It was done in a 3x5 card box. It was really very wonderful, but it's changed so much through the years because we don't stay at home anymore. Nobody has 4 to 6 hours a day to do the things. I mean, there was even a baking day back then. It was different than it is now, and it has evolved, and I have definitely evolved with it. Since then, I have gone to college, so I know I've had infants, I've had teenagers, I've homeschooled, I've had a broken body from a car accident. I've had, I was in a wheelchair for a long, long time. I have had full-time job, I've had part-time job, I've had 2 jobs while going to school. So if you want to think of any way that your life could be affected and still be on the system, I could raise my hand and say, been there, done that. So I'm really extremely qualified for this. And the thing is that we're not alone. We're not alone. We're not the only ones out there in the world and that are like this. And later on, we'll just talk about how wonderful we are, because we are. This here, I think, is just fabulous, because those 2 people here with the X's around them, these 2 people, if you Google slobs, that's what comes up. That is not what slobs look like. That's a stereotype. Slobs are people that they go to church and cute. They're so cute, And they're like this guy here with a little kid on his shoulder. They look like this lovely woman. We know how to put ourselves together, and we also know how to clean. Most of the times our houses aren't dirty. They just have stuff all over them, and they're embarrassing. But we know how to clean. We just don't know how to keep it that way. So there's that. Okay. Now, SHE, S-H-E, is an acronym for Sidetracked Home Executives. And like I said, I was pregnant with child number 4, and a lot of times you'll hear me say slob. That's the way, this is Pam Young. She wrote this book, Sidetracked Home Executives, and it changed my whole life. They say in this book, they call people slobs. And I'm not crazy about that. Now, they tell you that it's really a lovely thing to be, and because it stands for spontaneous, lighthearted, optimistic, and beloved, because that is what we are. Did I misspell optimistic? Optimistic. It won't tell me that I spelt it wrong, so I don't know. All right. Anyway, if I did, oh well. So, anyway, that's what and we are all of those things. We are spontaneous. We can do things at the drop of a hat. People who are organized cannot do that. We are lighthearted. Things don't bother us as much as they bother other people. We could have an air conditioner out of, now for people that have, there's a lot of people that don't even know what air conditioners are, so I should use that, because they have central air everywhere in their world. But here in New Jersey, because we have such old houses, if you want your house to be cool, you have to get a big fat air conditioner and you put it in the window. Well, at a certain time, that air conditioner has to come out and go in an attic or in a garage. Well, people like us, we can get the air conditioner out of the window, down on the floor, and we can kind of just leave it there for a month or so and be like, oh yeah, that air conditioner, we're so lighthearted. We're optimistic, we think we can do everything. Oh, sure, I can do that. Oh, yeah, I can do that. We say yes to everything, and that's why we're beloved. We're beloved because we don't say no to anybody, and that's part of the habits that we have. It's important that we have these habits. So that's where this came from. And I just wanted to let you know about SHE, Sidetracked Home Executives, the book that started me on this path. It's changed quite a bit since then, but it was the basis for where I am today, and I always want to give credit where credit's due. Okay, Now, there's something that society expects, and they expect everyone to be organized, and it really is so unfair. We do not expect everyone to be musical. We should not expect everybody to be organized. There's such a social stigma on being a slob. I like to call us organizationally challenged. So there is such a stigma on being organizationally challenged that nobody wants to admit it. And if you can't admit you have a problem, how could you possibly get any help? We actually, I get so many emails from people that say that oh, you know what, it's just because I'm so lazy. It's just because I'm so lazy. If I wasn't so lazy, and like these same people, I would ask them questions like, really, what do you do? Oh, well, I volunteer for this and that, and I work for, this company, and then on my spare time, I'm going back to school too, and I'm like, honey, you're not lazy. Take a look. Most of the time, most of us organizationally challenged people are the ones that volunteer. And the reason for that is because we're the ones that will. People who are organized. I call my sister, I love her, but holy mackerel, she's organizationally gifted to the hilt. And I call her up and I say, Marie, you want to go, to the beach? Oh no, today's laundry day. So what? It's a washing machine. You don't bring your clothes down and beat it on a rock. What do you mean? I don't get it. And then, not to say that she doesn't volunteer. She actually is a children's church teacher. She teaches children's church. She does that. I'm not saying that people who are organizationally gifted don't give. They do. But mainly the people that are the volunteers, the movers and shakers, the ones that put up the chairs and break down the chairs and serve stuff, because we say yes to everything and we'll put off something that organizationally gifted people just will not put off. So there's this whole concept of right brain, left brain, and we all have different gifts and talents. I talk about in my book that isn't out yet, please forgive me, it's all about getting it formatted. It's done. I just have to get it in a format where I could sell it. But in the meantime, we do say, it seems just natural to say, I wish you could be more like Julie. Look at her room, it's perfect. But if Julie just had this specific gift for drawing or for playing a piano, we wouldn't say to our child, I wish you could be just like Julie and play a piano like that. Of course that's silly. We know that there are some things that just come naturally and other things that have to be learned. So your child could say, Mommy, I want to learn how to play the piano. And we could say, oh, great, let's get some lessons. I would love for you to play the piano. And we know she could learn even if she isn't gifted at it. And it is the same thing with order. You may not be very good at getting the house together, but that doesn't mean you can't learn. It really is a learned skill. Now, I have this picture here of these hangers and stuff. And the reason I did that is because I want to point out that most of us probably will never get to this point, nor do we care. Now, if you do, that's fine. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. That's fine. But if you don't, who cares? It's not our nature. We don't care if we have wire hangers, plastic hangers, if we have all different clothes in there, as long as we love the clothes, we wear the clothes, and the clothes are hanging in the closet and not on the floor, we're happy. Do they fit in there? Do they fit on my body? Are they good? Do I like them? That's all we care about. Organizationally gifted people, especially severe ones, it's gotta be really uniform and stuff. And you have to really get to the point where you're very happy in your own skin. We don't have to be them. I don't want to be them. I want to be me. I like my spontaneous spirit. I like that I could drop anything and help somebody. I like that I don't care about hangers. I like that stuff doesn't float my boat. So just don't feel like, oh, well, I don't have everything like so-and-so, and oh, it isn't like that. Who cares? You want to know that when you turn your oven on, that the smoke alarm isn't going to go off. That's what you want to know, right? So anyway, there's that. I also could say really quickly that most people, when I teach these classes live, and I could ask here too and see if anybody has this experience. Anybody that has had a professional organizer come to their home, and in about 3 months they're back to the same mess they were in before, because it isn't about organizing our clutter. It's about learning new habits. It's about figuring it out. How to get it done. If you're going to have a professional organizer come, learn this first and then have them come if that's necessary. See what I mean? Because when I ask people in my courses, everybody says that has had them within about 3 months they were in the same mess they were in before. All right, so here's some words: disorganized and organized, organizationally challenged, organizationally gifted, and unmusical. These are words. I don't like the word disorganized. Disorganized to me is just as foolish as saying unmusical. You're not unmusical, you just simply haven't learned. You're not disorganized, you simply just haven't learned. And that's why I like to use organizationally challenged and organizationally gifted. Okay, so a lot of people tell me that they don't want to become organized because they think they're going to change who they are. They think they're going to be rigid and whatnot. And you're not going to be. You're not going to sacrifice anything. You will be the same person that you are now. All right, you're not going to be stuffy. All right, you're going to be wonderful. And so we have the no excuse rule, which is huge. Okay, it's huge. Now remember, I know that you guys have taken this course because you've had it. You've had the first session. So if anyone wants to say anything to me, please just say something, and I'll take a break and I'll listen to what you have to say. All right? All right. So the no excuse rule is that you can make no excuses. In the class, I talk about how I was in a car accident. I was in a hospital for 4 weeks. I was in a hospital bed for much longer in my living room. I was in a wheelchair for a year. I was completely broken up, and it was about my son was, I believe, 6 months old when this happened to me, and I had been on the system for maybe 6 months or so because I was pregnant with him. Maybe I was 6 months pregnant, 8 months pregnant, 4 months pregnant, something like that, when I got organized. So if I didn't have this system in place, if I didn't have the habits that I formed. Now remember too, it wasn't like years later. I hear people saying, oh, she's been trying to get organized for years. It was just a few months later. I had 4 children, and I had a car accident that was horrific. And I was there. That's not an excuse to have a mess. The house stayed maintained. And another thing that was wonderful about it was that when people came to my home, it wasn't embarrassing for any of us. It wasn't hard for them either. It didn't make a very, very hard situation even harder. Having twins is not an excuse, and even having cancer, and I know that that can be something that's harsh for people to hear, but I've had a lot of experience volunteering in and people that have cancer don't live in a mess because they're sick. They live in a mess. If they did live in a mess, it was because of bad habits. When they have something and they finished it, they throw it away. When they're done with the dish, they wash it. When they open up a pair of pantyhose, it goes in the garbage instead of the dresser. When the hamper is full, they do a load of laundry. I understand that at this point in time, it could sound like, yeah, it sounds real simple. You make it sound so simple. I know it isn't simple, but in reality, it really is. It really is really simple. All it is new habits, that's all. And mostly it's because we have a warped perception of time. We think everything takes so long. We end up looking like this woman here in the corner with the phone on her ear and the little baby and her hair all a mess. You don't have to look that way. Saying I have a headache isn't an excuse. The baby was teething all night. The baby was up all night. My house is too big. My house is too small. There really is no excuse. An excuse, actually, is a reason to be exactly the way you are. And if you don't want to be the way you are, you've got to stop making excuses. Whatever you have in your life, someone else does also, yet they maintain order, which means it can be done, which means the excuse doesn't count. Okay? I'm not trying to be unsympathetic. You cannot move further if you have any excuse at all. All right. So there, we're not missed because of our habits. Okay. Now, these are the things that you needed for the course. You needed, you don't have to have 3x5 cards, but they're good to have, and you should have them for the next time. You need a pen, some paper, and a 3x5 scratch pad is what you need. Now, a planner would be wonderful. I know most people use their phones, so that's why, you know, I don't really say a planner, and the 3x5 scratch pad kind of takes the slack up for that, so that if you can't take your phone out and put in, you know, an appointment or something because maybe your phone is dead or you left it at home or it's inappropriate to turn your phone on because maybe you're at church or something, then you write it on the pad. You have to write everything down. Now, these are habits, and we have 12 habits to memorize for the entire course, but we're only going to do 4 each time. 4 for the 3 sessions, and then all 12 as a review at the end. So these are all of them. Do it now, prepare for tomorrow today, get up a half an hour before you have to, shower, groom, and dress before anything. Say no, don't pass it up, pick it up, it goes where it goes. Check your planner every evening. Close cupboards, drawers, and closets. Don't leave your house before your morning routine is done. Write it down and hurry up and slow down. I know some of these might sound like, huh? And we'll get to them. Today we're only going to get to the first 4. All right, so here are the first 4 habits. Do it now, not later. Think about tomorrow today. Get up a half an hour earlier than you need to. Shower, dress, and groom before anything. Okay, wait, I have a question, so let's see. Beverly said, I have been getting up early and get my morning routine done, and I have found that I don't know what to do with myself. I have so much time, it seems. Now, I'm telling you what, Beverly, I'm so happy you said that because it really is very, very true. When I first started to do this, when I was on the system, back then they used to have a heavy cleaning day and a moderate cleaning day, or I guess they called it moderate. A light cleaning day and a heavy cleaning day. And on my heavy cleaning day, I was done at 11 in the morning. Now, what changed? How come before that, I was spinning my wheels all over the house, working all day long and getting nothing done? It's simply direction. You know, that's it. So I'm happy you said that. Okay. All right, so do it now. Now, you also may have found that you get this, you have this in my tips. The 10 tips that if you signed up for my 10 tips that's most of the time how people have gotten to know me was through that. So if you signed up for my 10 tips, these are them mainly. Do it now, not later. And wait, another thing I could say is that in the membership site that you have for these 3 months, you're gifted into the membership site because you are in Tidy Tutor University for 3 months. And in there, if you go to the tab that says, or the little icon that says habits, all of these are in there and they're in movie form. So you can watch them, okay? All right, so, and I explain them there. So do it now, not later is really ridiculously important. We tend to say, oh, I'll do it later, even a stupid thing like dropping our keys. Even that like silly thing, you know, you walk in the house, you drop your keys, oh, I'll get them later, and then you forgot you dropped them. And you go somewhere and you tear the house apart looking for something. You know, organized people really don't work as hard as we do. They work much less than we do. We do it stupid. And they do it smart. That's all there is to it. So do it now, not later. I really encourage you to watch the video, all right? Think about tomorrow today, and that is one of the most important things to do. And it is one of the things that we balk at the most, that we're like, we don't want to do that. And mostly it's because we feel like we have to do that right before bed. And we know our personalities to begin with. You know, we don't want to do what's not fun anyway. And then to put it on top of that, doing it right before bed, are you kidding me? I want to go to sleep. I don't want to do this now. So I say we do think about tomorrow today throughout the day. Like in the morning, one of our habits that we have to do, one of the things that we have to do, and it's in this session, is we have to put a load of clothes in the washer before bed. and then take them out of the dryer in the morning. Well, we can start to think about tomorrow right there and then. That as soon as we wake up, we take those clothes out of the dryer. This is what I do. I go upstairs to my room. Now, a lot of people say don't bring your clothes in your bedroom to fold because they end up staying there. I say, you know, if you're making different habits, why make them stay there? What's the difference? You don't have to do this, though. If you know that you're not going to fold the clothes because out of sight, out of mind, then don't bring them in your room, all right? But wherever you're going to bring those clothes from the dryer, before you put them away, when you fold them, think about tomorrow. You can start thinking about tomorrow right there and then. You can say, all right, well, what am I going to wear tomorrow? Maybe there's some things here. Because why bother, you know, searching for something if you have some of those things right there from your load of laundry? And then if you find just a pair of jeans and a pair of underwear, then you just go and get the top and the socks, and there you go. And now you've already started. So you want to do that throughout your day and start in the morning as early as you can, okay? Now get up a half an hour earlier than you need to. This also is very difficult when we're laying in bed and we don't want to get up. I promise you this, you will not lose that half hour sleep. And I also promise you this, if you don't do this, it really doesn't work. You have to remember something as we're going through this, all right? That if what you were doing now was working, you wouldn't be here. And so you really do need to do everything completely before you begin to tweak it. Now, let's say you're retired, all right? Let's say you're retired and you're half hour early. It doesn't matter because you don't have to leave the house at all if you don't want to. Or say you stay home and your job is at home, or you're a stay-at-home mom. You know, give yourself a time to get up in the morning, regardless. But you're early doesn't, like say, let's just say that you have to be at work at 7 and you need an hour to get ready. So that would mean you'd have to get up at 6. But here with this rule, you'd have to get up at 5:30. That is the cold, hard fact. That's just the way it is. Sorry. You have to get up a half an hour before you actually have to leave the house. It doesn't work otherwise. I promise. It makes your life, it gives such an advantage to your day. I can't begin to tell you. You do not start your day behind the 8 ball that way. But let's say you don't have to leave the house. Let's say you're a stay-at-home mom, or let's say you work from home, or let's say you're retired. I'm going to talk about the stay-at-home mom first. If you have to prepare your family for the day, you be ready first, because your job, that is your job. If you were going out of the house to work in corporate America for people you don't love, why would you be more prepared for them than for the people that you do love and for yourself? The rest of your day is going to start after that. And you are an executive at home. That's what you are. So you have got to take your job seriously and prepare yourself. Get dressed. Do your hair. Be Donna Reed. All right, well, not really, but you know what I mean. I might be dating myself. A lot of people might not know Donna Reed. You'll have to Google her. All right, now let's say you're retired. Then you determine what time you wake up, because you don't want to lay around in your pajamas all day. That's not respecting your life. You know, once in a while, sure, make it be something that is planned, because your life is important. We tend to think that our life isn't so important as far as home life goes. But if we really think about it, it's what we're working for. If you won the lottery, you would quit your job. You wouldn't quit your home. Most people, when they think about like winning the lottery, they think about how they can enhance their home or enhance their home life, or maybe even move to a different place. But it's all about the place. We're thinking backwards. We're getting ourselves ready for a job that we would leave if we didn't have to be there, and we're screwing the thing that we're working for, or we would even improve if we were able to. All right? It's real important. All right, so there. I'll shut up now. Shower, dress, and groom before anything. This is so big. I can't begin to tell you how big this is. And I know, you might say, well, look, I have 5 things that I have to do, and one of them is shower, groom, and dress. What's the difference if I do it first? It's a huge difference. It's kind of like the difference of if you don't get to the gym first, you don't get to the gym. There's so many times that if you don't get in the shower first, you don't get in the shower. So make sure that you shower, groom, and dress before anything. And that's even on the weekends. You don't want to be caught off guard all the time. We're always caught off guard. We always have somebody come into the front door and we have to make an excuse or we feel embarrassed or something. Why? Does that happen in anybody's world? Does that happen in anybody's world that their best friend or their mother or their sister or anybody that they know that lived that dignified life of an orderly life, do you walk to their house and they're in their pajamas in the middle of the day, or they look like they could care about themselves? It really doesn't happen, does it? All right, so there. I hope you understand. This isn't about me saying we want to be what they are. That isn't what I'm saying. I'm saying that things work because they work. And this is, we don't want to be what they are, but we certainly can learn from them. All right? All right. Okay, our number one obstacle is too much stuff. All right, that is our number one obstacle. Now, this picture here, it might look like, to some people, well, what's the big deal? It's just some storage. And then there's this picture here that to other people would be like, well, that's even better. Look at that. It's so organized. And then we have this one. It's like, oh my God, I really got to get to this stuff. And then there's this. It's like, well, that's not so bad. It's just some books on the shelves. That's not such a big deal. And then you have this. It's like, yep, that's my storage room, or that's my, basement, or that's my garage. All right. Now, I want to say it in another way. You could be somebody that you look at that and you're like, oh my God. And then you could look at that and say, holy mackerel, what is all that stuff? And you could look at this and say, oh, and have a fit. And then, oh my God, and then, just cringe at it. Everybody is in a different place. And no one is judging anybody. All right? Nobody's judging anybody. But the thing is that you have to realize is that not one of these is acceptable. And I think that probably we all could agree that if we were going to say that one of them was all right, it would be this one in the right-hand corner, facing right-hand corner. It's not all right. Now, I'm going to tell you why it's not all right. It's not all right because we don't even know what's in those boxes. And what is in those boxes? You see how many boxes there are there? Do you need the things in there? All of us eventually are going to not be here anymore. Someday, we're all going to go. And people are going to have to go through our stuff. Is it fair? Is it really fair? And do you really need these things? What's in there? How long is the stuff going to sit around? You have to realize that stuff holds you down. It doesn't even have to be seen. It's spiritual. If somebody doesn't want to believe that, then that's all right. You don't have to. And I'm not saying that what I am saying is, definitely that's it. It's spiritual. I'm saying that this is what I believe. All right. And I'm going to ask you, have you ever cleaned a closet? And, you said, forget, I'm going to clean that closet. Now, most likely you destroyed the rest of your house while you were cleaning that closet. But boy, when you shut that closet door, did it look beautiful behind that door. So you cleaned your closet, and then the next time you go to put something away in there, you open the closet, you feel like something's missing. You feel like, oh my God, it feels like something moved out of there. There was something living in that freaking closet, and it's gone now. When you know that you've experienced that feeling of your room was disgusting, and you just took a whole week or a whole weekend, and you cleaned your room, and then you walk into that room the next time because it was a while before that room was a mess for a long time. So when you walk in, you kind of feel what you're going to feel, and then all of a sudden you don't feel that. That clean room gives a feeling to you that it's a spiritual feeling, and so that's why I say that. Okay, so we can stop there and go back to the other slide. Okay, so these were the things that all right, so anyway, the whole thing is we have too much stuff. And until you're willing to get rid of things, we cannot organize clutter. We cannot organize clutter. And until you get to the point where you realize that you are not your things, people that you loved were not their things, that things are just things. I mean, God forbid there could be a flood or something, and you're still alive. That's all that really matters, and those things don't really matter at all. So we've got to get rid of stuff, okay? Most likely 90% of it has to go. Now, here's the to-dos that we're going to do for this week, all right? We're going to establish a bedtime, really important, okay? And you have to stick to this. You know, somebody said, you set everybody straight in your world. You tell whoever it is, your significant other, your children, if you have them, your friends that give you a call, because God knows that you're the one to call to get picked up for the airport or drive to the hospital or anything that has to get done. You tell anybody that you're starting a new system. Now, most likely they'll laugh at you. They'll be like, oh, yeah, right, Mardine, sure, new system. Most likely they'll laugh at you. Who cares? They don't pay your bills. So you tell them, I'm starting a new system, and I have to be faithful to it. And so my bedtime is 10 o'clock. So if you need anything from me, you know, you tell your kid, your husband, your wife, whatever, if you need anything from me and you ask me when I can't get to bed at 10, I'm not going to do it for you. And you have to stick to it. If you don't stick to it, they're not going to believe you. And there, it's out the window. It's done. It's done. You're gone. Nothing. It'll never happen again. Now, what are you going to do? Say it again? All right, listen to me. Today, I really am going to. I guess you can do that if you want to. I'm telling you, stick to it right from the beginning. My bedtime is this. And you also have to prepare for bed. So it's not like they can't say to you, well, I asked you 50, it's 1:45. It's 9:45. Why can't you do it for me? I have to brush my teeth. There's dignity in this. I have to get myself ready for bed. I'm not going to crash and burn anymore. It's part of the system. All right. So there's that. You have to write down everything, even the things that you think there's no way you're going to forget. Like, say one of the things is I'm going to pick up my grandson from aftercare, and you think, oh, I'm never going to forget that. Write it down, right? No matter what comes across your path, you're going to write it down. Now, you write it down in your scratch pad or you put it in your phone. I really recommend doing both. You don't have to do both, and I'm not saying to, but I can't tell you how many times I don't do it anymore only on my phone, because I've done this. Like, once I got the iPhone and I started being like, all cool and putting in my calendar so it could alert me. I can't tell you how many times I walked into it. Like, I go to the city, I have a meeting in New York, I walk in, I sit down thinking everything's cool, and then they say to me, okay, Kathy, would you like to say something? And I'm like, I just got here. And they're like, well, yeah, the meeting's over now, so since you're here, we'd like to hear whatever it is you have to say. And, I look like a big schmuck. They know what I do for a living. And here I am, and, I'm there an hour and a half late. Why? Because I put in 6:30 instead of 7:30. I mean 7:30 instead of 6:30. Because on your phone, those numbers are really small and our thumbs are kind of big. So I like to have it written down on paper as well, so I could just check it. I could just look. Is that the time that I really have to go? That's just, so anyway, it happens, all right? So write it down. All right, get up a half, and these are the things you have to do this week for a full week, all right? Get up a half an hour before you actually need to. Keep a steady cycle of laundry going, and that means you put in a load of clothes before bed, and you get them out of the dryer in the morning. You do not have to, yes, you put a load of clothes in before bed. You get those load of clothes into the dryer when you go downstairs, like I think everybody has a second floor because my bedroom's upstairs. When you leave your bedroom, before you do anything else, you put your clothes in the dryer. This way, before you leave the house, they're done. You don't have to fold them before you leave, but you do have to take them out of the dryer before you leave and lay them flat. I'm working on right now doing a real-time routine thing where it's almost all video, and I'm actually in bed, like looking like hell in my pajamas, and we're doing it from bed to bed, and so I get the clothes out of the dryer, I bring them in the room, and you know what? You watch me actually while I'm talking to you about whatever I'm talking to you about, because God knows I could talk. It takes under 5 minutes. It's under 5 minutes. We always think everything takes so much time. Oh, I'll never be able to get to those. I have to leave. That's really not true. It's not. Things don't take as long as we think they do. But if it turns out that you know you can't fold them, then don't. Just take them out of the dryer and lay them flat. If you go to the laundromat, then you have to schedule it into your life. Like go twice a week and tell yourself which 2 days a week you're going to go. I'm going to go every Monday and every Wednesday or so, or every Monday, every Friday to the laundromat. And this is what I recommend, because I did the laundromat thing for quite a while. I recommend that if money is an issue where you don't want to pay for the full service, then do your jeans and your sheets and towels and drop off everything else. I'm telling you that you will not save much money at all washing your clothes that way. You have to pay for the washers and dryers. I've seen it. I've done it. You know, it's like, holy mackerel, what the heck was I ever doing this for? They do it for me. It's folded and everything. It costs just about the same. And so if you wash yourself the jeans and towels, those are because they do it by the pound. So those things weigh more, and they're super easy to fold and quick. It's quick. So you're not there forever. You're not there on an entire weekend or an entire day getting it done. Please excuse my dog. Hopefully my daughter will do something about it if you hear it all. Okay, you want to wash your dishes on a regular basis. That means you wash them as you use them and you talk to the people that live with you. But it is no excuse for you to go to bed with dishes in the sink. You can't say, well, I didn't mess these dishes. Later on, we're going to get the family involved. But for now, you just have to make sure that, because you know you do them anyway, you have to make sure that the dishes are out of the sink and either in the drain if you don't have a dishwasher, or in the dishwasher with the dishwasher going before bed, so that you wake up to clean dishes. You don't have to put them away until the morning. And you also have to prepare for tomorrow. All of these habits are in the membership area in the habit icon. So you can look for, prepare for tomorrow, wash dishes, and you could just watch the ones we're working on this week. Don't overwhelm yourself with everything that's on there. All right? I mean, if you want to, then go ahead if it's not overwhelming to you. But I really suggest just sticking with what's going on in the plan. All right? So you want to prepare for tomorrow. To prepare for tomorrow, what does that mean? It means you're thinking about, what do I have to do tomorrow? You think about tomorrow today. So you have to drive somebody to the airport, or you have to drive somebody somewhere you've never been before. You have to pick somebody else up you've never been before. Print out the directions, or at least look at them on MapQuest. Don't only, we have all these things, like we have all these excuses like, oh my God, a GPS, you know where it took me? You know what? Before you leave the house, Google MapQuest, look at it, see how they're sending you, so that when you're driving, if it tells you get off of Route 98, and you're like, get off of Route 98, I have to stay on Route 98 until I'm on, I don't even know where 98 is. Let's use a route I know. So let's say it says because this has happened to me before. I'm going, say, from here to Wayne in my world, all right? So I'm here, and I have to go on Route 3 and Route 46. And I know this, but I don't know exactly where it is. So I put it in my GPS, and it tells me, get off of Route 3. And I'm like, get off of Route 3. I have to stay on Route 3 till I get to 46, and that's where I'm going. I think that Google or MapQuest, whatever, has this thing with businesses so that you have to pass them or something. They probably give them sponsoring or something. I don't know what it is. But it's, instead of feeling always like you're stressed, like, oh my God, you can't believe it, I had to give somebody a ride, I got lost, my thing wasn't working. Well, don't put yourself in that position. Prepare for tomorrow. You get it? Say you have to pay a bill tomorrow, and oh no, I need to pay this bill, I haven't paid it yet. Then, write it down in your planner so that you remember, and then bring the appropriate things with you. Maybe you need the account number. Maybe you'll need a specific card if you're going to a doctor's office and you have a magazine that you've been really wanting to read. We sit forever waiting in a doctor's office. Bring the magazine with you. So that's what you're doing, all right? You're preparing for tomorrow today. You're giving some thought to tomorrow. Now here is all of these notes are in the session, all right? If you go to session 1, you go to the login thing, and then you go to session 1. On the bottom, there's a video that you could watch, kind of like helping you sort of like, it's like, all right, I know I'm taking this course. My house is a wreck. I want some help, just like picking it up. So that's what that video is. And then also the notes are there. So you can just, open up the notes. I'm telling you, please don't print them. We have enough papers laying around. If you want to print like this page right here, then you can do that if you want to. And don't use I don't have a printer as an excuse for anything. Go to the library. I don't know where you are in your world. I have a lot of people from all over the world. So I don't know what it's like everywhere in the world. But I know here in the United States, I don't think there's a place you can't go into a library, use a computer, and print out something if you need to. All right? And most of us can, well, I don't know. I've been to San Diego, and I used to live in Florida, and you can't walk anywhere. I was going to say most of us can walk to a library, but that's not necessarily true. Okay, but you can write this down, all right? So you have your morning routine and your evening routine, and this has got to be done, all right? You can't skip any steps and think that this is going to work. It's not. And you have to do, this is like a mini thing, all right? It's not so much. It's not such a big deal. You're going to wake up on time. Remember, you're going to determine the time that you wake up. You're going to wake up on time. You're going to make your bed. It doesn't matter if your room is a freaking disaster. Who cares? Make your bed, all right? Another thing that I don't say in the course that I say when I do the real-time routine is if your room is a disaster, leave your room with like 5 things. Don't care. We're not getting into cleaning yet. We're just changing habits, and we're changing our life, and we're feeling good about things. But if you leave your room with a few things, when you leave your room, that's a nice thing. You just kind of like setting yourself up. All right. So you wake up on time, make your bed, put the clothes in the dryer, drink a tall glass of water, shower, groom, and dress. Now remember to leave. Now remember the do it now habit. That is incorporated in here. Leave the bathroom with your towel and the clothes that you took off. Remember, do it now. All right. So shower, groom, and dress. Eat your breakfast. Check your to-do list. Put dishes away and fold your laundry. Or, of course, you remember what I said. You just take it out and lay it flat. You don't have to fold it. But you have to get it out of the dryer because then it'll be wrinkled. It'll be gross, and you're not going to want to fold it because you're saying, I'm not putting those clothes away. They're all wrinkled. Now, your evening routine. You check your calendar, and you make your to-do list for the following day. See, that's the to-do list that I talk about in the morning routine that you're checking. Put things that you need for tomorrow by the door, all right, because you made your to-do, saying, all right, what do I have to do tomorrow? This is very important to prepare for tomorrow. All right, and remember what I said. You don't have to do this, and I don't recommend doing it just before bed. You're not going to want to do it. Do it maybe after dinner or something, all right, or sometime when, well, here in my world, the sun isn't out past 4, but you know what I'm saying. Do it during the part of the day that you don't want to not do it, all right? Put things needed by the door for tomorrow, including your shoes, all right? And then prepare for bed. Like, actually prepare for bed. Put on a pair of pajamas. If you don't have pajamas, you got to get them, okay? Make yourself decent for bed, all right? If you have ratty old stuff, throw it out. All you need is 1 or 2 things. You don't have to have tons and tons of pajamas, and I recommend that you don't. Just make sure that you have a decent pair of pajamas. And it's very cold where you live and you want to sleep in sweatpants, then that's fine, as long as they're not crappy sweatpants. Remember, there's dignity here. You're an executive at home. This is what we live for. All right, brush your teeth, put your clothes away or in the hamper. And that's something I talk now. If anybody is listening to this and you think, oh, all right, I don't have to listen to the course, you do have to listen to the course because there's stuff I've left out. I don't expect to keep you very long. I've already kept you an hour. It's just supposed to be a review. In the course, I talk about how, where am I? To put your clothes in the hamper. I talk about how no more draping your clothes on a chair because you say, oh, you know what, I wore this today, but I can't put it away because I wore it today. Well, then it either goes in the hamper or it goes away. That's how come we have a chair in the bedroom that nobody can recognize ever. So, you don't do that anymore, all right? Either if you take off a garment and you cannot put it away, then you get it in the hamper or you put it wherever you put your dry cleaning if it has to be dry cleaned, okay? No more of that. Like, oh, I can't put this away, it's dirty. If it's dirty, then don't put it on a chair. Okay. Wash a load of laundry before bed. Now, when I say before bed, remember what I'm saying. It's just before you go to bed, not at, you're going to bed at 10 o'clock and you're doing this at 9:30. All right. Sometime after dinner or sometime put a load of laundry in the washer. All right. Okay. Make sure your dishes are done before bed and then go to bed on time. This is all we're doing this week. And it's huge. It's a big deal. Don't skip anything. Now, here's things that you need to get for next week. You need a timer. You can use your phone if you want to, but if you're going to be talking on the phone while you're doing something and your timer doesn't go off, then you have to get a timer. But if your timer goes off while you're talking on the phone, then that's fine. You have to have 3 boxes, and one of them needs to be an apple box from the produce store. See this apple box here in the corner? These boxes, they have lids. The one lid goes directly on top of the other. It's almost like 2 boxes. One of them is a little bit bigger than the other, and they have handles. So you want to get them. And one person one time said, oh no, there's bugs in there. There's no bugs in there. I've been doing this for 23 years. I still have actually some of the original boxes from when I first started up there in my attic. There's no bugs in these boxes. Okay, they're great storage boxes, and they're very sturdy. One of them needs to be a produce box, but you're going to have to start collecting them. So you'll have to call either a produce store or your grocery store because they crush boxes at certain times a day. So you have to tell them, I need some apple boxes. They'll know exactly what you mean. And just start getting a few every time you go to the store, like 3. If you have to make a special trip, then make a special trip. But, like to get 3 at a time or something. And then just keep them where your storage area is, just so that you have them when you need them. You need large plastic bags. I do recommend having the tall kitchen white bags also because they fit really good in the PAL boxes, in those boxes that, for Goodwill. You'll need a shoebox. You'll need a pen and a 3x5 scratch pad. You'll need a piggy bank or a small jar. Artichoke hearts, or I think they have sometimes mushrooms in them. Those work good too. And that's it. And you need a planner. Okay. Now, the kind of planner you're going in the third session, we're going to create a binder. And in that binder, we're going to put a planner in there. All right. Now, the planner will be something that you can print out from the internet. It could just, not by that, I just mean calendar pages with lines. Just boxes that have lines in the boxes that you can just 3-hole punch and put it in there. Or you can get one of those like flat planners that you can hole punch and put in there. That's what I did because I just didn't want to print it out for some reason. Oh, I know why. I had no ink. I had only red ink, and it wouldn't color everything red. So I had to, and I didn't want to go to the store. So when I went shopping, I just bought one of those things that was, I know you're saying, why didn't you buy the ink? I don't know. I was there. That's where the planner was. I just picked it up. So I have this flat planner. It's a Mead, and that works good too. But also you can just download something. So I'm not saying that you actually have to buy a planner now. If you use your phone, then continue to use your phone, but you have to carry around a scratch pad and write in it. All right? All right, I hope I wasn't confusing. Okay. Now here are the cliff notes, and you'll have these in your notes as well that you get on the session. I'm sorry, I'm over time here. But we're almost done. You're going to establish a bedtime. These are your cliff notes. Keep dishes washed. Keep your laundry going. Shower, groom, and dress before anything. Get up a half an hour before you need to. Memorize and practice this week's 4 habits. Practice your morning and evening routine daily. Be sure you have and use your planner, okay? Make sure that you use a planner, either on your phone or hard copy. Like I said, I recommend both. You have got to write things down. All right, now don't be concerned about catching up with anything, okay? No mess that you have is getting any bigger. Like your laundry's not going to have any more babies. Any paperwork and stuff that you have laying all around is not going to have any more babies. You didn't get into the mess overnight, all right? You're not going to get out of it overnight, so just chill, okay? Enjoy who you are. You really are quite amazing. When you consider what you accomplish, with the skills that you have. It's really, if organizationally gifted people would be in the corner babbling like, geeks. They'd be like, duh, 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 duh. They would be like that. If they had to do all that we actually do with the skills that we have to do it, you're just fabulous. You really are. We can drop anything at the drop of a hat and do anything that's fun. It's really, I hope you listen to the first session, because I really do get into the right brain and the left brain people, and how we really are very unique. And I just love us. All right, so there's that. Okay, so I think we're done. I would love it if anybody had anything to say. Beverly said setting out tomorrow's work outfit is also helpful. Yep. Okay, if anybody wants to ask any questions or wants me to unmute them, you could type it in or you could speak. I'll do that now. Anyone? Who knows Ferris Bueller? Anyone? Nobody? All right, then I'm going to stop now. We have a Facebook page. Oh, you're welcome. We have a Facebook page, all right? Now, I did have like a page that was only for Tidy Tutor University people, but it seems foolish. It seems not necessary. It doesn't matter. So if you go to Facebook, facebook.com/the Tidy Tutor, that's the Facebook page, and you can post on there. It really is I do it all the time. It's very helpful to have some accountability, and to you're not alone here. Like I said in the course, you're taking a class and you're not alone. There's a lot of us here. So it really is good to get that, that camaraderie going and whatnot, and have somebody there to help when we need it, just to say, oh, you could do it, or, rock on with your bad self. All right? Okay, so that was it. That's our first session of Tidy Tutor University. I didn't see that anybody has their hand raised. You're welcome. Okay, all right, so I'm going to sign off now, and I will see you. Thank you so much. I'll see you next week, same time. Okay, now if anybody has any issues with this time, I'll send an email out and see too, but let me know. All right, and remember, this will be recorded. I just have to have some time to edit it and get it on the site in the Coffee Talk section. Okay, all right, so I'll see you next week. This time, anybody has any questions, you have my cell phone number, 201-290-4549. I know I said that fast, but I emailed it to you. So you text me, email me, call me, and I'll see you next week, and I'm going to sign out now.